welcome back to my channel. My name is Chantel, but you can call me Chanty, and today I'm going to be reviewing some of the most recent launches, and I'm going to give you my opinion on whether I think it's worth your money to buy them as presents, or hey, even buy them for yourself. So I'm just going to shuffle this way so we'll have space to show you what I'm looking at. Now before we get started, if you're wondering about this Christmas lights look, there is a tutorial up on my page already if you want to check out how I completed this look. Very festive. I'm probably going to wear it for a Zoom call or maybe on the last day of work before Christmas break. Who knows? First up, Storybook Cosmetics came out with a Starry Night palette. The packaging is absolutely beautiful. I love the color story. It's like blue with a pop of yellow. That seems to be a trend right now. A lot of blue palettes coming out with pops of yellow. I can think of two others that have come out that I'll probably be talking about this anyways. Getting ahead of myself. I think this is absolutely stunning, but I have a Storybook Cosmetics palette. I have the Robin Hood palette, and I'm not a fan of the formula. So I would need to see reviews on whether this was a different formula before I considered buying it. Just based on my experience with eyeshadows from Storybook Cosmetics in the past, I'm probably not going to buy this palette, but it's really pretty to look at. My other kind of gripe with Storybook Cosmetics is that they make their palettes book-shaped, which is very aesthetically pleasing. I like that they're sticking with the gimmick, but practicality-wise, just based on my experience with the Robin Hood palette, it is quite hard to squeeze into spaces. It's not really travel-friendly, so I imagine that this book will be very similar. The colors are really pretty though. I think they did very well sticking with the whole theme here. Next up, Estee Lauder has released their holiday line. The first palette I feel like I've seen before a million times over, but that purple palette is really nice. Everything else I feel like is really classic with it. And I'm in love with the packaging, that little bow. I think that's pretty standard for them. I don't know if this is just a Christmas theme for them, but I think it's really cute. Next up, eUnique Beauty, which is an indie brand, came out with 3 6-pan eyeshadow palettes that are inspired by the cherry blossom season in Japan. I think these are absolutely gorgeous. Of the ones that are available, I would probably buy the one with the reds, pinks, and it looks like gold and kind of like a purple, blue, silver shift duochrome. The one I am least interested in is the one with all the purples and turquoise. I feel like that's just a little too dark for me, but I still like the composition of the colors. And the middle one with the greens and red, and this one has 3 shimmers. I think you could create some really unique looks with this. I think these are really pretty palettes. I love that they're 6-pan, and the swatches look gorgeous. Next up, Lunar Beauty came out with the Eternal Eclipse palette, and I think it is so beautiful. I don't think I'll buy it for myself. I have a lot of these colors already, but I do like the color story that he put together and that it's inspired by the eclipse. The swatches also look really beautiful for this, but I can guarantee that I would be able to dupe it out from my collection, and I think a lot of people would be in the same boat about this. Next, Kylie collaborated with the Grinch to create a Grinch collection for this year. The packaging is really beautiful, but I can guarantee you I would buy this and use it a little bit and then never use it again. I think they really nailed the packaging for this collab. It looks absolutely beautiful. I love the eyes on the eyeshadow palette. It's so cool. I love the colors. The shimmer eye glaze look absolutely stunning. I would definitely use that gold a lot. But I feel like a lot of this stuff, outside of the fact that it has Grinch packaging on it, I think a lot of this stuff already exists at a cheaper price. Now, Glam came out with the Paint Pro palette, which is so adorable. I think it was a really neat idea for them to put all of this on a painter's palette. But again, practically, it's not going to store very well. I think I would have been more interested in this palette if they just done it in like a small, compact, square kind of palette. Even with all these colors, they probably could have pulled a few out. The swatches look stunning though, I will say that. If it wasn't for the fact that this palette was so huge and I already have a lot of these colors, I would probably be considering buying it just based on those swatches alone because it's absolutely gorgeous. Now I think I'm going to make this one my last one, but Violet Voss came out with the Forget Me Not palette, which is really, really beautiful. If I was in the market for a blue palette, this is probably something that I would lean towards. However, I don't really want a blue palette, but I think this would be a really great palette for someone who wanted a blue eyeshadow palette. I've heard really positive things about the formula for Violet Voss's eyeshadows. So just to quickly go over all of the products that I talked about in this video, I'm going to start with the Starry Night palette from Storybooks Cosmetics. If I was going to buy that as a gift for someone, I would buy that for someone who was really into makeup gimmicks like that and was more of like a collector of palettes as opposed to someone who wanted more travel friendly palettes. For the Estee Lauder collection, I would probably buy that for someone who swore by Estee Lauder, which to be honest, I think my mom's the only one who does. I don't want to say that Estee Lauder is a mom brand because they do have really good stuff, and I know it's not just moms who wear them, but if I was to buy it for someone, the only people that I can think of is my mom and my future mother-in-law, and I certainly wouldn't buy any of this for myself. For the E-Unique palettes, I would definitely buy that for myself, and I would probably buy it for some of my friends too. Looking at each palette, I have a few friends that come in mind. So if I was interested in buying one of these palettes for someone, I would look at each story, each color story, and determine which colors my friends would like and look good in. I think these would be enjoyed by someone who had any size of collection, as long as they were the type of person that wanted color and shimmer. For the Lunar Beauty palette, I would say this is a really good gift for someone who really enjoys neutral colored eyeshadows because it still has the neutral eyeshadows available. There's quite a number of them. There's also a lot of shimmers that they could play with, and then also deep blues for pops of color, but not being totally outside of their comfort zone. I think this would be a really good palette for someone who enjoyed neutral palettes. For the Kylie and Grinch collection, I would say if I was going to buy anything out of this, it would be those shimmer eyeshadows. They're really pretty. I would never consider this for anyone who wasn't a big fan of Kylie and or the Grinch, just because I feel like you're not going to use it outside of the holidays, or you're not going to use it that much. Sorry, Kylie. The Glam Light palette, I again would lean towards giving this to someone who was a bit of a collector when it came to their eyeshadow palette, or if I knew someone who was just starting to expand their collection and really wanted a range to choose from. I feel like this is a really good palette for that. Finally, the Violet Voss, I would give to someone who really loved blue eyeshadows, point blank. This whole palette I feel like is really limited to people who really like blue or really like Violet Voss and just buy everything that they put out. So that was just more of the recent makeup launches that have come out and my kind of thoughts on whether they would make good gifts and who I would give them to if I was giving them as gifts. I hope you guys found this video helpful, and let me know in the comments below what you thought of all of these palettes. Would you consider buying any of these for one of your friends? Do you agree with my assessment? Do you disagree? Let me know. Also, if you like this video and you like my vibe, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Take it easy. Just based on my experience with Storybooks Cosmetics, I don't know if this is just a Christmas thing. I think these are absolute...